Good people, we are at Nitro Gym in Milton Keynes. First time here. Looks really cool. A lot of kit I'm familiar with. Some bits we'll play about with today. Filming for Engineered, going for a quad session. Do my absolute best just to try and share some nuggets, some little gems maybe for you to try within your own training. But what I will say is that anything we go through today, it's not gospel. Neither is anything that you see, you read. There's no right way to do things. So this is just one of many takes. So yeah, we'll get into it and we'll have some fun. Kind of get ourselves caught up in a notion of like you have to start with a leg curl. You know, people say things like warming up the knees, warming up the legs. You can do that on any movement. It makes no fucking difference. Like last week, for example, when I was this session, I wasn't able to get on a leg curl. I wasn't able to get on leg curl, and I wasn't able to get on an extension. So my first movement was a squat pattern. It was a Cybex hack. Felt just as good, if not maybe a little bit. Felt different. I'm not going to say better, but I usually start my sessions with a leg curl, prone leg curl, lying leg curl. Warm-ups and feeder sets, whatever you want to call them, I don't count. I don't track. I go until I feel ready. Some days I might feel as though I need another few reps on a movement before things are firing. Other days I might come in and I might touch it with one and go, right, now I'm going into it. It really depends on what it is on the day. So one of the questions you get a lot is like, how many feeder sets, how many warm-up sets? How many do you need on that day? We get conditioned to wanting to be robotic with everything. Must do that, must do this, must do that. Training, you'll see today, is very much like instinctual. Go by feel. So yeah. So like I said at the start, when we think about movements, right, or machines or whatever it may be, it's like there isn't just one way in how to use that machine. I could use this same leg curl in a handful of different movements. I could adjust something which then changes the movement entirely. So today, for example, when you see how I'm moving on this, that's just how I'm moving at the moment on this lying leg curl. Doesn't mean that that's the only way I'm ever going to move. I might tweak, I might change something. Like one thing I do on this at the moment, on this prone leg curl, on my quad session, is I'll see if Mancuso can show it a little bit more, but like I actually lift the front of my quad up because I'm trying to spend some more time or put a little bit more emphasis into that stretch. So what I mean is I'll pull some of the load back, but instead of, there are so many ways you can go through a leg curl as well. You can put the body rock in if you want to go through that, but today I'm staying fixed in body positioning. I'm setting my movement. I've not got any kind of upper body movement at all, which is just how I'm going at the moment. But when I'm in this kind of stretch position at the bottom, usually we just kind of know to let the knee kind of just extend there, and then we just curl up into that. Whereas my movement I'll just start from here. Instead of just thinking feet down towards ground, I'm actually thinking feet and heels back behind me, as if I'm trying to like press off of the wall behind me, and I'm lifting my quad up. So I'm catching all of that tension in my hams. My quad here is actually up off of the pad. So I'm not down here. I'm actually extending, I'm lifting quad up. And I'm catching, I'm holding that tension there. And then from there, that's holding on, extend, literally as if you're on like a leg extension. That's the type of extension. And then catch and drag through into contraction. And when I'm coming up into the contraction on this, I'm not coming up into what most would know to be like full range of movement. there's a difference between like what we know as like active range and passive range. I'm coming up to where I feel peak contraction in my hamstrings, and I'm holding it. That isn't my full range. I can come into here, but I'm not getting any more out of my hamstrings there. When I come up into that contraction, the feeling, the sensation I'm going for is almost like, you know, when you're in like a rear relaxed and you turn hamstrings on, adductors on, sort of. That's the sensation in the contraction I'm going for. So that's something worth noting. On most movements today, there'll be a lot of like that sensation that you feel when you're posing. And that's something I think is really important to carry into any movement. The feeling you get when posing a muscle is the sensation, the feeling we should be chasing after on movements. So remember that. Right, you mofos who are constantly asking why I cut the collars on my t-shirts. Even Beth asked me this morning actually, she was like, why do you cut the collars? I was like, babe, I've just got a huge fucking neck, I have. And it isn't because of that. It's because I've got the only thing that's big on my neck is my Adam's apple. So these collars, if you know, they end up sitting like that. So just give it a little slit. I don't have the Vicar collar anymore, so that's why people are asking. Something I do at my normal gym, where we've got a multi-hip machine, which is a luxury, not many places have that, is I'll do some kind of specific hip flexor work, usually with my leg curl or with my leg extension, but always get something in. So this work that I'm gonna do now, it's the same as if it was on that multi-hip, but it's for the quad. When I say quad, it's quad because it's the front of the leg, what we know it is. It forms the visual aspect of the quad. But the muscle that's being trained on this isn't a quad muscle, right? So when we think of quad, we've got vastus medialis, we've got rec fem, we've got vastus intermedius, whatever else. There's 4 off the top of my head. The muscle I'm biasing on this movement specifically, you're going to get some rec fem with it, but it's the sartorius, right? And no one needs to go into this amount of depth. I do because I'm a bit of a fucking loser. But it's actually the longest muscle in the body, right? Second to 1, if you know. But it runs from your hip all the way down, right? And when someone's lean, i.e. stage condition lean, it looks fucking unbelievable. And something I was talking about not long ago is there's a lot of big legs in bodybuilding, like high level amateur and even on the pro circuit, right? There's not a lot, there ain't a lot happening, like the detail, the look of things, you know, like just, it's not even conditioning because these guys are pilled, it's just the specificity on movements. So this is one you can do, you can incorporate in any gym. If you've got to lie in a prone leg curl, you can do the same setup on cables as well, or if you've got a multi-hip. So it's good if you can do it in short. If you're able to roll your shorts up, you're able to see the separation in the muscle, which plays massively. You can feel it if you're holding it as well. Wow, we were. Right, anyone that finishes a fucking set of leg extensions and they can just sit in there, legs tucked in, I'm always like, how are you managing to do that? Like, your legs should be so fucking mashed. You want to jump ship as soon as possible. If you're finishing and you're able to just sit in there like, something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong. Whew. Smell of tuna from someone behind the desk just wafting up my nostrils. Yep. One thing I will touch on is, especially on movements like this, and I get it because they're more daunting, so just more demanding. But it's like, when you watch people train, it's almost like they do all they can to avoid that point of failure. Like, you know, when it's like, oh shit, this rep's hard, whilst they're moving through it. So they try and move even quicker through it, like get out. Because the body and the mind, they don't want to be there. They're the moments where it's like, no, control it even more. Switch on even more. Do the stuff that you were doing on the reps before, even more importantly, or more prominently, on those reps. If you get it, happy days. If you don't, happy days. That's bodybuilding. But don't shy away from it. Meet it. They're the points you want to get to. They're the points you want to get to. Blue Raz Catalyst. Modern day bodybuilding. They're looking in disbelief right now what we're about to do. The heels are coming up off of the platform. Oh my God, what the fuck? How are you gonna get quad? How are you gonna get knee flexion? How are you gonna get maximum quad stimulus? But no. You can call it what you want. It's made famous by Tom Platz. If you know bodybuilding, you'll know the video of Tom Platz doing it with John Meadows. Gold. If you don't, go and watch it on YouTube. Tom Platz, John Meadows, sissy squat. What I'm doing on here is I'm getting a hell of a lot of tension in the stretch. Rec fem, there's not really much I'm not getting on this. My adductors are coming in, so inner thigh if you like. I'm letting my back, my lower back come off of the pad. Again, creating the tension, but through different parts of the quad in comparison to how I was just moving. So this is, again, a lot of like hip flexor work, rec fem and the rest of it. I've done 2 sets on this and it felt really good. And I want to stick on it. I don't think another set of how I was moving would be needed. And this feels fucking glorious. So some stretch bias work, going down, a lot of blood flow, a lot of tension, contracting hard at the top, riding the tension out of the bottom, I'm not rushing, I'm not counting reps. Just go until you can't go no more. That's what we're gonna do. Oh, should do. Fuck me, man. That was some good shit. That was some good shit. I'm not going to the point where I can't go. Don't misinterpret that for lack of intensity. It's me going, and this is, again, I'm so in tune with my body, I'm so in tune with my muscle. I know when I've got something else there. Am I able to keep what I'm feeling where I need it? Yep, right, there's another one there. If not, rack her up, job's done, on to the next. That's it. Not, must go until I'm bleeding out of my eyes, my ears and bum hole. That's it, done, move on. But we were just talking about off camera, like, I have today, man just said like, guys, today that's all I'm doing for this session. I was like, yeah, it's just a quad session. I have a hamstring and glute session later on during the week. And he said a good point. It was like, because you've got that much tissue or that much muscle, that it's like you only need to do that much. It's like, no, not necessarily. That's something to consider. But there are people who have a lot more muscle than me that train differently. We only know training splits at the like modern era to be what you see them. It's like, I hate talking about it. It's this conversation that's just dead on its arse now. It's like, it's push-pull legs. People lose their shit if it's not a push session, and it's just called chest and delts. Or if I then put some triceps in that, call it a push session, or it's upper lower. It's like, no. The only thing that matters is, or as far as it goes for me, is where is that work situated throughout the week? My hamstrings and my glutes are an area I need to focus on like wicked. If I was to come in here and do the same work, the same quality work, the same amount of work on this leg day, this quad day, and it had my hamstring and my glute working, I wouldn't get it done. I'd be absolutely fucked. The quality of work would be shit. So for me, it works best that I split the two up. It might not always be like that, but at the moment where my hamstrings need the care due attention to things, so do my glutes, so does my arse, my quads can have their own day. Quads get done, a couple sets of hamstrings, can recover from it. Then on Friday, so what? Okay, Thursday, in 3 days' time, I have a hamstring and glute session. So don't think about your training split in terms of like specific names. I very rarely call a training split like a push or a pull session. I just call it what's in the fucking session. Right, this is back, abs and calves, or this is back and biceps, back and triceps, chest and delts, quads with hamstring isolation, like whatever it is. Don't get caught up in the minutiae. It's all just it's schematic, man. It doesn't matter. Like, people lose their fucking tits over it. Modern bodybuilding. Sometimes I'll do them at the start of the session. Other sessions I'll do them at the end. They're not really an area where I've got a lot of, I hate saying that. They're like, my calves are okay, right? Without being big-headed, my calves are decent. If they were shit, yeah, I'd put them where I was a little bit fresher. But here for me is good enough. Now, on a standing calf raise, I think quite common you're just seeing people try and move weight just unnecessarily. Same as on most movements, to be fair. But you'll see how I move on this. It's like, there's no point of this movement where I've not got tension through my calf. I'm not bouncing, I'm not jumping, my knees are pretty relaxed. How my body's positioned, I'm trying to keep it all on my calf as much as I can. I don't explode out the hole. That's something I'm not going to say I don't agree on, but to me, exploding out of a movement is what? It's quick, it's usually uncontrolled. I think when we say things like explode out of the hole, people think just move. But no, move through the muscles. That's what we're going to do on this. We're going to get nasty calf pumpos. So standing calf raise, straight leg. Going to be a majority of like gastroc work as opposed to like the soleus, but you're going to get everything on there. So let's go. I used to have decent calves, and I kind of like didn't stop training them. I just stopped training them as frequently. No real reason. So they've shrunk, but they're coming back with consistency and body dysmorphia. We've got one more set on here. Then adductors. You got to make sure you find the angle where my calves don't look shit though. It's like, just go and find someone else's calves and fucking Photoshop them in. Adductor, set up on this again. This is just one of many ways you can play it out of it. But this to me is where I can get the most. I can isolate my adductor, just feel it the best. So in terms of range, I sit deep, but everything's on my adductor. There's nothing kind of loose, just sitting on my hips. The important bit here on this and what I'm doing is what my feet are doing, what my ankles are doing. So you see, instead of my feet being kind of neutral or even inwards, I actually rotate my feet slightly out. So if you were to look at where my hip and my knee are, my foot position is outside of my knee. That to me is just creating the sense of, well, it's not creating the sense of, it is actually creating it, that I'm actually bringing my adductors together first. I'm not bringing my knees together with my feet. I'm exposing all of this as much as I can. I'm opening things out and up, right? Rather than closing, right? Think of when you're training, what's exposed the most is what's going to be moving a muscle. So at the minute, my adductors are like, they're the thing that's in front. They're the things that are exposed the most. Whereas if my position was quite closed, well, I'm still going to get adductor. You're still going to get productive work, but it's coming through this. It's like my foot, my lower leg drive's coming in. I'm just kicking out, just kicking back. Everything opened up here. Driving my knees down into the pad. I'm not sitting up high. I'm sitting quite low, turning feet out. I'm just gliding through. Not to the point where pads slam together. I don't want that. A good teaching cue for people, if you struggle with feeling your adductors, is stop about 2 finger widths. Kind of that position there. Hold the tension, get comfortable in that position. Don't try and push through anymore. Hold there, then ride it out. Little pauses in here and there like we did on that hack squat earlier. Glide. Oh. Oh. Whew. Oh shit. My name is Bill Stella. I am an online coach full-time. I work with bodybuilders, athletes, lifestyle, gem pop clients, and I'm also a amateur bodybuilder. My bodybuilding status. I'm a low-ranking amateur bodybuilder. No, I am an amateur bodybuilder from the UK. Competed for the first time this year with the NPC, so through the 2 rows route. Had a pretty successful first season with the NPC, and then before that, just PCA route. Good amount of class wins, a few overalls, and then this year, NPC route. Why engineered muscle? Right, take what you know engineered to be in terms of like the quality of the supplements, the innovation, and look a little bit deeper. Engineered to me is because of Risen D. I don't think if it was anyone other than Risen D, it would be the same. I'm not sure I would be here if it wasn't for Risen D anyway. But for those two, along with the quality of what the brand offers, that. So I actually met Riz through Instagram, believe it or not. I think the first conversation I ever had with Riz was about me using what was their first product, which was the old Turbo Drops, which was their kind of cognitive supplement, which was wicked, and I wish we still had them. They were really fucking cool. But then from there, and just a love that blossomed through Instagram, and here we are. Why bodybuilding? God, gonna make me tear up. I think it's quite not standard, but a lot of people say that bodybuilding is like not an identity or it saved them or anything like that. But bodybuilding gives me a lot mentally, and also physically in terms of what it brings to my life, my business, my own love for the game. And I don't think there's anything else that you can do that requires as much from you mentally, physically, the bandwidth, the emotion, all encompassing, that just makes you better, pushes you to be what you don't think you can be in all aspects of life. And it really does, it cross transfers into everything you do. So without bodybuilding, I'm not the man I want to be. I'm not the partner to my fiance that I want to be. I'm not the son. I'm not the coach. I'm none of it without it. It sounds crazy to some people, but that is what it is. And when you know you're doing it for the right reasons, you can't go without it. So it is very much it is a life. It is a life. So yeah, bleed bodybuilding. Right, people. That has been a quad session at the wonderful Nitro Gym in Milton Keynes, filmed for Engineered Muscle. I hope you can take at least one thing from this video. If you have, please drop a comment. Let me know what it is. Let us know what it is. If you'd like to see anything specific in the future or more on certain topics, let me know. Let the guys at Engineered know. We're more than happy to get that done. As always, thank you for the support. Take a look at engineeredmuscle.co.uk. All of your bodybuilding needs, your supplements, engineered brand and otherwise. And again, thank you for the support. I would say use my code, but I genuinely don't care whose code you use. Just make sure you use the code and save some money and support us, because we're trying to do something really fucking good.